All right. Welcome back to the show. So glad you decided to take the time to click this video tonight, and you're going to be rewarded for it, Lord willing. I am Coach UV, your trading mentor, and of course, I'm brought to you by the Unique Trading Group, where strategy meets mindset and discipline turns into income. All right, tonight I got a very special video for you tonight. All right, today, the main 3 day types, right? What are the main 3 day types? You have those types, and what is your trading edge is the question to be asking yourself. What is your trading edge? These 3 day types I'm going to be revealing in the video. Okay, so stick around to the end because this is only the beginning. And of course, the Unique Trading Group, this is where we focus on market structure and price action. And tonight, I got a very special video for you tonight, okay? So stick around to the end. Remember, this is the 3 day trading types, all right? The 3 day types in trading that comes before psychology. That's right. If you didn't know, this video is for you. Now, let's go ahead and hop over to some curriculum that I have for you here, okay? All right, so let's start with the day one type, all right? Now, after I go through some of these informational sticky notes here, all right, we're going to hit the charts, all right? Those charts are going to show you exactly what I'm referring to, all right? And in that chart, it's going to bring everything together after I finish talking about the 3 day type. So I want to give you a minute to grab your notes, grab your pen and paper or whatever you need, all right? Take your time. Right. Okay, guys, here we go. All right. Hope you're ready. All right. Day type number 1. All right. What is a 1 type? The first type day is the range day. All right. Trade the edges. Trade the edges. Right. All right. So there's a box. There's a high and a low. Okay. This day traps both the bulls and the bears. That's the edge, okay? This day traps in the bulls and the bears, all right? So you want to fade the extremes, all right? Wait for liquidity to build, then strike, all right? Tip, the high risk to reward setups near edges of value. Again, the tip is high risk to reward, RR, setups near edges of value. Your range, the high and the low, all right? This is the Coach UV note, all right? Think like a dealer, not a gambler, all right? That is the day 1 type, all right? Okay, let's hop over to the day 2 type, all right? The test and retest day, all right? The visual of that is a failed breakout followed by a retest of a key level, all right? The message here is a false move creates the real move. All right, this day rewards patience and precision. I like test and retest days because it's one of the most scary days where you can really catch rookies off guard, right? When there's an exaggerated price move, all right? Opportunity awaits, all right? If you understand the option chain, the option Greeks, implied volatility, all right, a very cheap price. If your grandmother went to the store, right, this example is universal. I got a grandmother, she loves her favorite product in a grocery store. If she went to her favorite grocery store and she wanted to buy that Wonder Bread, right, she been buying Wonder Bread for the past 20 years. She knows when she goes to get that Wonder Bread on the bread aisle that she's going to pay $9.99, for example, right? $9.99, that's the example, right? For 20 years, she's been paying $9.99. And it's something she loves. So she's going to buy what she wants. That's just what grandma wants to do, all right? But one day she decides to go in there and all of a sudden she sees that bread for $1.99 a loaf. What do you think grandma's going to do? She's going to buy more. She's going to load the boat, all right, at your best risk to reward. All right. So that's what test and retest days feel like. All right. And here's the tip. Trade the second touch. All right. Trade the second touch. Trust the zone. Coach UV note. Don't chase. Let the market come to you. All right. This is where your bear trap lies. Let the bears try once. Let them try twice. All right. Trade the second touch. All right. That was your day 2. All right, type, your day 2 type. Now let's get over to the day type number 3. All right, day type number 3, I think, is everybody's favorite, whether you know it or not. All right, trend day. These are the days where the money seems to just flow and roar. Right, price action is going where you want it to go. All right. So day type number 3, the trend day. The visual of this is picturing a classic higher low. breakout continuation. All right, simple techniques that you guys know about. If you're not a beginner, if you're intermediate or advanced, you probably know about the higher lows and the lower highs. These present trend up and trend down. All right, and don't worry, guys, I'm going to show you some visuals. I'm going to kick it up a notch. All right, this is very important to understand right before you see the visuals, so you can correlate the message. I appreciate you watching the video thus far, and do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. All right, it helps the algorithm reach other YouTubers who want to visualize and see my videos, something of importance. All right, so day type number 3, the trend day. All right, the message: this is where dreams are made, all right, or destroyed. Respect momentum, buy dips and trend. All right, here's a tip: don't fade at the freight train. All right, don't fade a freight train. You don't want to get inside of a moving train. All right, wait for higher lows with the volume support. All right, Coach UV note: this is the easiest day to get FOMO and wrecked. The easiest day because of the wild swings. And don't worry, we're going to visit that on the chart, test and retest day. All right, now that was the last day type. What I want you to think about, I want you to think about, okay, these days. All right, there are only three day types. All right, they show up every single week if you know what to look for. All right, so I want you to stop reacting and I want you to start anticipating. Okay, all right, high risk to reward setups near edges of value. Think like a dealer, not like a gambler. Okay, you understand? Now, why does this matter? All right, why does this matter? I tell you why this matters. Auction theory: each day type reveals where buyers and sellers are wrong, and that's where the edge lies. When you know the structure, you stop forcing trades. Trading is not prediction, it's recognition. What kind of recognition? Pattern recognition. All right, here's the Coach UV note: this isn't a strategy, this is the blueprint. All right, are you guys excited? I hope you are. Again, let me remind you, hit that like button. All right, let's get this video out to folks who really need it. All right, we're gonna hop over to the charts because I know that's what you guys came for. All right, this is the 3 main day types. All right, do you have an edge in the market is a question to ask yourself. All right, now we're gonna start with the mighty SPY. Right in front of you, we have the 5-minute time frame. This is a entry day time frame. What is entry day? Entry day refers to the price movement and trading activity that occurs within a single trading day, from market open to market close. No positions are held overnight. That's what entry day is. Entry day are smaller time frames. Okay, all right. What is a time frame? A time frame is the specific period of time represented by each candlestick or bar on a chart, like 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, or the 1 hour. All right. Traders use these different time frames to analyze short-term versus long-term price action. Now I'm going to read that again, all right, because I want it to resonate. All right. Traders use different time frames to analyze short-term versus long-term price action. You have smaller time frames and you have higher time frames. All right. This is going to make sense after this presentation. All right. But wait. Understand the higher time frames present bigger picture outlooks. All right, and we're going to look at the 1 hour. Right now we're on the 5-minute time frame. Now, what about those 3 day types, right? These 3 day types, okay? Now, sometimes you get day types where you have 2 and 1, where a test and retest day is following a trend day, right? Or vice versa. All right. You don't always have one day type in one day. All right. Don't think of it this way. Just being able to recognize the structure. You could have both, right? You could have both inside of one day. And we're going to use the SPY 5 minute to see that clearly. What do you have here? All right. We have a trend into a range. All right. 2 types in one on a 5-minute time frame. Why is this a trend? Because we have established a clear path of price action, right? A trend, a downtrend, is established by what? Something that we call lower highs. Lower highs. Why is that? Now, pay attention to my screen. All right. Right here in my cursor, price action is going down. Even if you know nothing about the stock market, how to trade, first time watching, you know that this price right here is falling down. It clearly fell from this spot, all right, of $599.28 all the way down. You see that it's falling down. So that's a trend. And we establish and identify those by recognizing something called lower highs. And what is that? This is a point of interest. Price fell, came back right here. Isn't this a lower high than this one? Because this is lower than this price. And then same sequence, lower, lower. All right, that's what lower highs look like. And this is a trend down. All right, this part here would be a trend up. All right, just for a quick example, you have higher highs and higher lows, the opposite from lower highs. Okay, but we're focusing on what we see here. Okay, and we have a trend into a range. There's a trend, it broke trend, right? And then we ranged in the same price all day. You have your three touches, okay? Range, all right? So this was a trend into a range. Can you guys see that? Let me know if you can see that. If you understand and you recognize that, let me know in the comments. Let's engage. I talk back, all right? Let's have some fun with this, man. All right? So if you can see that trend into a range, this is what I mean by sometimes you can get two inside of one. But if you can recognize it, how powerful is that? All right? All right, a little bit of spicy information, huh? Yeah, I know. It's okay. It's cool. Calm down. Wipe your mouth. All right, just joking. Let's go ahead and move over to the next chart. All right, we're gonna use a ticker symbol circle. All right, circle internet. This is a new ticker everybody's craving about. So why not use it here on the 5-minute time frame? All right. We have a test and retest trend day. All right, a clear bear trap W shape. What do I mean by that? All right. Now, I'll tell you about bear traps and bull traps. If you want to check out that video that I made about that, check out that video above to the right. All right. Now, back to the lesson. Test and retest. Trend day, clear bear trap W. All right. Now, here on Circle Internet, what do you see? Okay. You see a trend. All right. On the 20th, which was Friday or Thursday, right? This week. All right. Last week, we had a test and retest. All right, first I want you to see the test and retest. This is a W shape, okay? Here's a W, all right? See the W? This is a technical bear trap, all right? You have higher lows, remember? Higher highs, see structure, trend up. So you want to buy here, all right, for the completion of the W, okay? There's the W. If you miss this move here and you didn't catch that pivot point to buy low to go up, all right? Your next point would be the break of that neckline and the break of this neckline. But always know your RR. Remember your risk to reward. All right. Here's already a high. So if you got in above the 21 and you wanted to take that momentum up, all right, to get this bull flag measured move, right, this two-legged move up, then you want to understand that if you get in here, you want to take your profit as price hits here. Why? Look left. Price has been taken here before. Why not shave off, all right, and not be greedy, okay? That's your risk to reward here. If you was to buy here, it's a 1-to-1 from here to there. Watch the cursor. From here to there is a 1-to-1. If you had bought calls at the break or bought trade and wanted to buy a trade to the upside, right here, that's a 1-to-1. A better risk to reward would be buying the dip of the higher low or catching the extreme, okay? All right? So this is why I call this a test and retest day, because price started here. We fell down. We retested the highs almost. We didn't quite make it there. We have overhead resistance here, right? See that? Same chart we seen on SPY. It kept rejecting, all right? Take that back off. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Price started here, fell, retested. It also came back again, but it didn't quite get down there. We made a higher low, so it's a test and retest, right? It retested the highs, all right? And we continued, even though we fell, we continued higher. Test and retest turned into a trend day because it's higher lows, higher highs. All right. It's not until towards the end of the day where we started ranging. Okay. So we have a technical bear trap, a W, just like here, inside of a trend and a range towards end of the day at the market, pre-market. You with me? All right. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. This is a very, very important lesson. And if you can understand this, this becomes before psychology. A lot of trigger words and a lot of catchphrase words or people like to use in the stock market, whether you're new to this or not, is psychology and get your mindset together. And that's all good, but some things have to be revealed only through experience. And if you've never heard about this before, it's okay. This took a while for me to grasp, but someone told me, and I started to see how it revealed itself to me each week and each day. And if you start to practice and paper trade some of these things, right? Paper trade, PAPER space TRADE, is something that you can do to practice what you're learning here, a simulation of the real stock market at your brokerage account. All right, so Fidelity, Webull, Thinkorswim, Moomoo, E-Trade, Robinhood, any of these brokers that you have, you can call customer service and they can answer any questions you have. So again, paper trade these ideas, gain confidence, and be amazed. Hope these aha moments hit you left and right. All right, now let's move on to one more chart, and we're going to move on and we're going to close out this session because I think it's been a really good session so far. All right, this is ticker symbol QXO, something that I alerted I alerted some of the tier 2 subscribers in the Discord on this stock around 19-20 bucks about a week or two ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Now we are at 23, so we had some gains since that call out. All right, and if you want to join a thriving community and get call outs, indoor signals, and where we teach you how to fish for yourself so that you can feed yourself for a lifetime, metaphorically speaking, then click that link below and join a thriving community. Women and men of all creeds and colors are there, all right, and we're all here to learn, and we're very passionate about what we do, and we would love to have you. All right, now moving on along, ticker symbol QXO. What do we have here? All right, we have a range, a long range. All right, this range started on the 6th of June and it lasted all the way to the 18th. All right, about a 2-week window. These are the moments you want to catch, long ranging moments where there's a good catalyst coming up or a company with good fundamentals, right? Good technicals and fundamentals with a catalyst. That's fuel for a big move, right? And so you have this thin zone, the volume profile thin zone, where prices are vacuum. Price got above the number I called out. $20 was that number that it needed to break. We shot up. All right, this was on the 18th, and we've been going up ever since. All right, so now we're up here at 24. All right, but this was the range, and this was your trend. Right, ranges. Remember, play the edges of the range. Remember, we talked about in the beginning. Play the edges of the range. You want to buy the bottom. You want to sell the top. All right, you want to sell and buy the bottom. That's what you see here, right? And you get different variations of this pattern on different times and different stocks. You know, it might not be as tight as this one, right? You might get something that looks more like this, where it's really going down a lot, you know. As with the one you're looking at in real time, you know, this one is more like a up here inside of the box. Then it eventually falls days later, stays there a couple days, then go up, you know. So it's the different variations of ranges, but you get the point. It's a very tight range, but then price, $20 and $18.99. Come on, it's a tight range, right? So you got this range and you have a trend inside of a 3-day type window. All right, again, you have two things in one, but this is on a high time frame, so you have these trends and these day types playing out over time. All right, you can also spot that. All right, this is on the 9th, June the 9th starting, and that's on the 18th, 17th. All right, and we've been going up ever since. So a range inside of a trend. I'm telling you guys, this is a game changer. All right, same breakout points, breakout or retest. If you retest the 22 level here, all right, we can fall back down and flush. That's puts on the market that you could play. I just wanted to throw that out there in this lesson video. Okay, you can rewind it and check it out if you would like to. All right, and again, I just want to mention to you guys, if there's any chance that you love to read, I wrote a book for the trading community last year called The Power of Paytience. That what you see here, right? And it's really tailored about mastering emotions in trading while turning discipline into income. Okay, that link is in the description. All right, grab you a copy. All right, get it sent to you personally. Right, join the team. All right, because I'm here for you guys, and it's a very, very valuable book for those who want a learning curve. 10,000 hours worth of screen time. Somebody who's been in the game 8, 10 years, okay? And so you take that valuable information and do what you need to do with it, all right? Get that learning curve, all right? Sharpen your trading knowledge, sharpen your trading wisdom, all right? I am your boy, Coach UV. This has been an episode of a 3-day type, all right? The 3 main day types in the stock market. What is your edge? Do you have an edge? I guess you might have one now, all right? I really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to always define your entry, your exit, and your risk before every trade, all right? Next week is going to be a crazy week, all right? We have a lot of things going on with this war, Iran and Israeli and Trump. And so, all right, you guys stay careful out there, man. And no matter what happens on the outside, all right, these things still stay true. So even in this chaos, all right, always identify those 3 day types, all right? If you enjoyed this video, again, give me a like, hit that subscribe button, all right? Share this video with somebody who might be interested just as you, all right? Even the curious ones, all right? This is Unique Trading Group. Again, thank you for watching this video. Until the next time, peace.